of all and foremost, I just want to start with a thank you. Much like Paul did when he was talking to Timothy, I thank each and every one of you for the prayers that we received while we were ill. Still, I'm not quite 100%, but feeling so much better. And I thank you all for the prayers and the love and gratitude that goes from me to you and back again. I mean, I felt surrounded with love last week, so thank you so much. Thank you, Patty. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, whoever else jumped in and helped while I was gone. I do appreciate that, especially when you had no notice, because we had meant to attend church and got to the door and had to turn around and go home. So thanks so much. But I want to talk today about a lot of things. First of all, I want to talk a little bit about why Paul wrote this letter to Timothy. You see, Timothy was an apprentice, let's say, to Paul. He's done great things as he grew older and he became more and more involved. But there became a time in his life, like I think a time becomes in all of our lives, and we have to be reminded of why we follow Jesus, why we do things. Because a lot of it, in a lot of ways, gets to the point where you're just tired. You're tired and you think, I'm talking to the walls. Now, I don't know about all of you, but I know Patty's probably felt that. I think Terry's felt that. I know I felt it over and over again. I was reminded yesterday of how much I felt that. Because I love the fact that people still call me to do their weddings and their celebrations and their dedications. I haven't stepped foot in this church for 5, 10 years. But they still want to be blessed by God's people. So they still call. I was talking to one and she asked for special prayers for her, Cindy Newhoff. A lot of you may know her. She's a policeman here in the city of Paducah. She lost her partner. My heart breaks for her, as I'm sure all of yours does. She lost her partner a couple years ago to cancer. It was a long, hard, drawn-out death. And they were together for a lot of years. I think about, she asked for prayers for herself. And she asked for prayers for someone named Anna, who was part of her recovery group. And Anna's child, Olivia, who she's now taking care of while Anna's in rehab. I told her we'd make sure we prayed for her. And then the very next breath, she tells me how she's on a trip of spirituality. And I think sometimes that's my very favorite thing to hear from me. I'm on a trip of spirituality. It doesn't include the church. I don't quite understand that. For you see, as I read the Bible and I read even the gospel today, especially Timothy, Paul was calling Timothy to come home to the gifts he had been given to share with others in the community. A community is the church. No matter what we think or who we think we are, a community is the church of God. Whether it's in four walls, which just allows us to get closer together, to know each other a little better. Maybe not every intimate part of our lives, because some of them are like me, a little shy, and we're going to keep some of it to ourselves no matter what. Others are more than willing to share, and that's fine, and that's great. And I'm glad that happens. And I respect each and every perception. Whether it's one of opening up and saying, look, my life is an opening book, And this is what happened, and that's what happened, and that's what made me today. Or the ones that are a little more like, stuff happens, and this is me. Take it or leave it. Because my life made me who I am, and your life made you who you are. And I can accept that. But the thing that makes me your sister, you my sister, my brother, is the love of God. It's Jesus in our lives. And I firmly believe we need that. We all need that. Spirituality can talk about so many things. But when we really examine what spirituality is, it gets down to the gospel. Who am I? Am I the servant? Or I am the master? Who am I? Who eats first? If you want to put it down to everyday terms, who eats first? Is it the kids? Is it my partner? Or is it me? Now, when I was growing up, it used to make me a little mad. Real mad, as a matter of fact. Because I came up in that good old Southern family. Mama from Tennessee, Daddy from North Carolina. Make it even worse, we were American Indians. Lord knows that puts a big burden on you. Well, what do you mean, preacher? Well, you see, those men got to eat first, and they expected us to serve them, and then have the leftovers. I don't think I had a white piece of chicken until I was grown up. Gizzards. Yeah, you got gizzards, or you got livers, or sometimes if you're real lucky, you got the thigh. But not too often. You got otherwise what was left over. And I used to ask, Mama, how come? Daddy, how come? I was told that children were to be seen and not heard. And I thought about that. But I also think about the great joy I see and the things I thought about after that and growing up. For you see, a couple of those men were bound and determined to join the Army or the Marines. 3 of them I know are left in Vietnam, never came home because they were killed, or they came home in a body bag. They were about my age, and now that I think about it, I'm so happy they got to eat before I did, because I've had a lot longer to do it. And I think about the other things. I was taught certain things, to respect other people's beliefs, to not try to push mine on you. I can just look at you all and tell you what I believe. Jesus is my best friend. He went to the cross and he died for me. He came out of the ground to show me the way. He returned to heaven and he's waiting there for me. I believe that so firmly in my heart. I believe t-shirts we used to have around here that simply said, I'm one of the whosoevers. Nobody can take that away from me. For you see, Christ died for me. My spirituality, if that's what you want to call it, to me is simply the time I spend in prayer to me and God. Those nights I can't sleep and I lay there and I say, Lord, please, just let me sleep an hour. Then I promise to think about your word. And I can't sleep that hour because I got to think about the word. And God's got to talk to me in God's way. And so I listen. And God said, you've been through a lot. And I brought you through. It's your job to help others through. helping others sometimes means that I'm second. Not an easy place to be, but I'm second. And you're first. It comes down in our lives in a lot of ways and a lot of things. It comes down in our lives when we get ourselves out of bed to co-minister to somebody else when we don't even feel like it. It comes, and our spirituality comes, when I get that call that says, Grandma, I'm sick, bring me some Pepto-Bismol. And you've got 15 things you need to do that day. But guess what? You get the Pepto-Bismol to them because you can figure out a way to do it. You think about the church. You think about the things you can do for it. The things you need to do for it. The time you need to put in. And I am so grateful and I'm so thankful for children's ministry. Been trying to start another one up for what, 5, 6 years now? And we're going to do it because of God's laid it on somebody's heart. I hear about all these great things that we can do. And my thing is, if God's laid that on your heart, do it. You want to start a ministry, start it. You want to raise funds, raise them. Raise them whether it's $1 or $1 million. Do it. We can talk ourselves into thinking that we're the masters. Just like the story talked about. If you're the master, and the slaves have been out there working all day, as hard as they are we the ones that say, feed me first? And like when I was a child, you can have the leftovers? Is that what our life is about? Is that what our spirituality is? Is our spirituality pray for me when I need it? Don't ask me to pray for you because I don't have the time. What is our spirituality? What do we call our spirituality? Is it a relationship between God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit? Which, by the way, our church, most churches in this world, and the Bible itself, say it is one and the same. Is my journey to that one and the same? Is that where my spirituality is? Is it taking time each and every day? It's one of my favorite things. Everybody requests for Bible study last week. And my biggest and my first most thing is, you want spirituality? Pray. Set aside a time each and every day. Go into your closet. I don't know about you, my closet's usually my bed, about 2 o'clock in the morning. We all have different times, different places. But it wants nobody around, including my partner, because she's sound asleep. And just me and God can talk. And I can hear back. Because I take the time to listen. Is it meditation? I was reading a thing on prayer this week. It says there's all kinds of ways to get ourselves into it, listen to. Spiritual music that we really can relate to. Gospels. Acapellas from the Church of Christ that Brent's is always sending me. The last one wasn't. I'll break it down. But you love the acapellas.
Well, I just like
And I'm just picking on you. If that's what makes you tune into God, if it is the symphony orchestra, if it's a child's voice singing, if it's a sixth grader's concert that we went to this week. Have you ever heard a sixth grader play a violin?
Yeah.
But it was God at work because it sounded beautiful to me. And I could hear God. And those little children trying so hard to look so professional. Because God is where we need to find God. And that touches our spirituality. And as the tears roll from my eyes and I brush them away because I don't want my children to see it or Suzette to see it, I thank God you've blessed us. You've blessed us in the children you've given us. You've blessed us in the community you've given us. God, you've even blessed me with all these folks that don't come to church anymore, but Lord, they want somebody to bless their weddings, to be there for their funerals, to pray for them when they hurt. You've even blessed me with those, God, because it told me somewhere along the line I've touched them. Who do we touch? And how do we show our spirituality? Are we the master that says, I don't care how hard you've worked. I don't care who you are. I'm the master. Feed me first. And then you can have the leftovers. Are we the ones that set aside that time to find our own spirituality? That place that we can pray and talk to God. That place that says, I know God has created something good in me, because I can talk to God. And God talks back to me in strange and wonderful ways. But use that music. If that doesn't work for you, use a little meditation. You know what meditation is? Find a word that means something to you and say it over and over again. For me, my meditation word is Jesus. And I just say Jesus over and over again. Because you see, that's my best friend. And I want to get close. But find your word. Repeat it over and over again until you go into prayer. Find your spirituality. Find it with music. Find it with your meditation. But more than anything, find it in your prayers. And as you pray, there's certain things we need to pray for. First one is, God, let me do your will. And then the second one is for those around us. For you see, God knows our needs, and God will provide them. You asked Suzette, if you don't believe me, you asked her how we lived on $20 a week when we first came down here, and how we lived very well. She was shocked to learn I could feed us for a week on $20, and I could cook and make it taste good. It's a mistake I should have never made. But those are things that God allows us to do. Are you allowing God to take care of you? Are we worrying too much about taking care of ourselves? And let the rest have the leftovers. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.